So you have some Basemap imagery inside of GeoLayers 3 that you can use for free, even in commercial projects. So click on Create Mapcomp, and when you get to this section to select a new Mapcomp imagery profile, select Universal Raster right here. Now if you can't see this here, you go to the GeoLayers 3 panel menu, select Preferences, and then scroll all the way down to Mapcomp Imagery and just toggle the visibility of the map profile on. With this profile selected, I will create my little GeoLayers project here and I will finalize it. There we go. Now we have this totally free base map. Now there is one big caveat, and that's the fact that this is a small scale map. So what does small scale mean? Well, it means that if I try to zoom in, I'm not going to have any detail at a certain point. And in fact, this particular map comp only lets me zoom in to a level of 5. So if I finalize here, you'll notice this is the maximum zoom level. I try to zoom in further and it's not zooming in. And in fact, if you go to the map comp settings right here, you'll see the max zoom level is set to 5. So I can manually override this. In fact, I'll do it just to show you. And now it's going to allow me to zoom in further. But essentially what we're doing now is just like scaling up pixels. So it's going to look pixelated and crappy. So even when I finalize it, this is like the high-res version, you can tell it looks like garbage. So this is just a fantastic base map, especially if you're only doing country animations. You really shouldn't need to use anything else. You can simply draw your elements on top of this. If you want to, add effects to this base map to bring down the saturation or add, whatever you want, it's really easy inside of Adobe After Effects. So this is actually what's called natural earth data. And if you head over to this website, naturalearthdata.com, you can find out all of the information. So this is not only a raster data set that's like a public domain map data set, but there's a plethora of other vector elements that you can get. So this was put together by two very cool dudes, Nathaniel von Kelso and Tom Patterson. And a handful of other contributors and volunteers have really helped put this together. But I urge you to come check out this website. I mentioned it in my last video, 5 ways to make your maps look good. And this is just a really, really solid resource that you should bookmark. Now, if I jump back over here into Adobe After Effects, I want to show you another cool thing. If you come over and click Create New Map Comp, I'm going to rename this and we'll call it Watermask. And I'm going to make sure that the link is linked to my main world map comp. So I'm creating a new map comp. And then right over here, you have the Watermask Natural Earth. So if I click on this, this gives you this black and white. That is essentially land is black, water is white. So what can I do with this? Well, I can create a matte or a mask. So you see I have this new map comp. And if you grab the track matte column, if you can't see this, just toggle this right here. And now for World Map Comp, you can grab the track mat and select the Watermask Map Comp, and it doesn't do anything. Well, that's because this is set to Alpha Matte. We need to switch it to Luma. And now look what's happening. It's knocking out everything that's black is making it transparent. So you can essentially isolate your ocean this way. I saw a comment, somebody commented on one of my videos, hey, how do I isolate isolate the ocean so I can use a different ocean background? This is how you do it. And this little button right here will invert the black and the white. And if I finalize this, you'll notice it knocks out some of these rivers. Well, I guess our rivers are still blue here, so it looks like it's not doing all the rivers. So now I could throw in a solid, I could composite this with different things. Just gives me way more options. Now to turn that off, you just turn this back to no matte. Now, GeoLayers actually uses natural earth data as one of its main sources of data. When you use the search here, if you're searching something, so let's just search for France, it's going to give you a bunch of different options. But you'll notice right here, grayed out, it says natural earth. So all of these first options are from natural earth. So if I download this country, this is actually pulled from the natural earth data website, meaning this is free as well. So if you want to use any of these natural earth data sets, you can draw, if you want to do like larger scale maps, you can create your own shape layers inside of After Effects. And if you click over here, add features to browser, I mentioned this in my last video as well, you have all of these data sets that you can grab. Now these are going to be vector data sets. So be aware that as you draw these out, it's going to be pretty intense on your system. So if you try to draw land or ocean using a shape layer, it's really going to bog down your system. So you may want to try to draw out specific countries or whatever you want to do. But they even have states and provinces. So you can get some pretty cool detailed large scale maps that you can just create with shape layers. And then maybe add your own custom textures or whatever you want to do. Now, speaking of which, if we go back to the search here, there's actually another data source that GeoLayers uses, and that is OpenStreetMap. So down here it says Nominatum. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is basically the search engine for OpenStreetMap. So what is OpenStreetMap? Well, if we come back over here, I have it open right here. This is another map of the world. It says right here, created by people like you and free to use under an open license. So this is open source free data as well. However, their license is a little bit more specific than Natural Earth. For example, they require attribution. You can find all the details right here. I will link to this in the video description, and it tells you specifically what you need to do. Between Natural Earth and OpenStreetMap, you can get some pretty detailed maps. Basically, OpenStreetMap will give you more detailed borders. If you want to do more large-scale things, you can check out OpenStreetMap. Once again, you'll find that stuff available right here. And if you go and do download features, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you have these data sets that you can pull from your view. So basically whatever's in my view here, it will download specific pieces of geodata. These all come from OpenStreetMap. So those are the main free options that are built into the GeoLayers panel. Now, if you're wondering, what about all of these other profiles? What's going on? What are the use cases for this? Well, if you want to find that out, you can simply click on one, and all of these are going to have attribution information. All you have to do is click on attribution information, and it'll tell you specifically what you need to do with that specific provider. And if you click on learn more, it's going to link you directly to their license page. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you want to become a master of GeoLayers, I have a GeoLayers 3 masterclass. And if you really want to nerd out and get full blast with map animations, go check out my Patreon page. All of that is linked down in the video description. All right, I'll catch you in the next one.